This is the very last Ashville Weekly, episode 250. I'm Daniel, and this is Ashville. For 250 weeks, we have been sharing our journey at Ashville. Most of it business, some of it my personal journey, the highs, the lows. There have been points when I've been on the top of a mountain, ecstatic. There are points when I've been lower than a snake's belly at the bottom of the sea. There have been points when we're treading water and surviving. And I want to apologize to all our loyal subscribers and followers who watch week in and week out. But I hope you'll understand that for a while, we have to stop the weekly show. And when the show is back, it's going to be in a different format. It takes a lot to make these videos on a weekly basis, which isn't an excuse, but with my plans for the future and the time which I need to put into it and the traveling which needs to happen and how dynamic and responsive I need to be, myself and the team, we can't commit and can't have the time pressures of releasing a video every single Sunday morning at 8 a.m. because it's more or less trying to produce a feature film every week. Now, we are not going to stop videos entirely. There's going to be a showcase of some of our construction projects. The main new business activity which is going to be taking place, I need some time to actually get it done and have everything in place, because I feel that if I'm trying to do it and document it in real time, it will actually stop my progress, and it could mean, sorry, you guys are gonna have to put up with the light. Go on, Sarush, adjust the light, go on, because the sun changed behind. It could hamper my progress, and it could give people an excuse and a reason to throw blockers in the way if they feel that it's going to make their lives more difficult, or we're going to be competition, or people just don't like to see other people succeed. I promise that I will share and document retrospectively. As they say in layer cake, this monkey business is in my blood. I'm not getting out. I'm just getting in. And I'm extremely excited about what the future holds. Regarding the yard, I am going to be in the yard a lot less. We've entered into a partnership which is going to free me, because if I'm honest with you, the yard sometimes feels like a noose around my neck. It's like a ball and chain which I'm dragging behind me. And there's no other way of saying this, but I just feel that I can do more, and I feel that the world and construction and everything what I want to do, I just feel that the world is a lot bigger than is what going on in this 5-acre rectangle. I'm not saying I don't love it, I'm just saying I don't ever want to be in a position in the future where I regret not trying. I can't just sit in here forever and say, well, now it's concreted, now there's trains coming in, this is it, this is the end of life. It isn't. There's always more to learn, and I feel I can offer more. If I'm honest with myself, how many times can I show you a concrete pour in the yard? And how many times can I show you a train get loaded and offloaded? I feel like I've exhausted a lot of the storylines, and as within the yard, we're not going to be taking on things. We started plant hire, we started bagging, we move yard. These are all stories and journeys we can share with you. Here, everything is going to be kept simple, and I don't want to make videos for the sake of it or bore any of you into submission. Ultimately, you'll just stop watching if you get bored, but I would rather stop it before it dies. So the legacy of it can live on, and it shares like a key part of my life and the journey of the business, which has basically been immortalized because I can go back and watch it in 10, 15, 20 years. When I do begin to share videos of the journey again, there is no guarantee that any of you are going to come back and watch it, and there's no guarantee that YouTube won't savagely punish us and the algorithm won't say, oh,
those guys aren't relevant anymore.
But I thought about it long and hard, and it's not a priority for me, if I'm being completely honest. And I need to prioritize in my life and create assets which produce income and value long term. The videos are, of course, a massive part of documenting it, but it is not the primary focus. It is an add-on. And I hope all of you understand that, and I hope you don't take offense, and I hope that that doesn't come across rude. It's just what I feel is best for my life. And there's no guarantee it's gonna work. As you know, like, you could have all the plans in the world, as you've seen here, and there's twists and turns, and there's challenges, and there's ducking and diving and jabbing and haymakers, and sometimes you have to learn to pick your battles. But I feel at this present moment in time, that is the best decision, but I will be back and I will share. And it's Monday, and I'm in the yard. And that's gonna be the last time you hear me say that for a long time. Let's go and have a look around. We're going to need one more load from Quattro to finish as we box in the weighbridge. And you'll see on Weekly of last week, we dug this trench. Previous trench we did, if you remember doing it in Weekly, it came to the wheel wash and we hadn't planned the rest of the yard. We didn't actually have enough ducts, so we've run 4 ducts from that point to this point. 2 of them are 300 and 2 of them are 225. All our electric, water, data, everything will run through these. You'll also remember we poured this a while back, and we're now taking up all of this concrete. You can see what fantastic C40 concrete is. However, it needed to be higher. We didn't know the final levels when we did it, and it needed to be another 160 mil on top of it. Now, if we tried to pour 160 mil on top of this, it would have cracked. So we have to take all of it out, and then we have to re-pour it. In this area, everything here is going this way, and then that side will go this way, and there's gonna be drainage and there's gonna be an echo drain in the middle where all the water's gonna slope to, because we do not want to send the rainwater out onto the public highway. We're gonna bring it all back in here and deal with it in this location. Bartitush from the build team is going to be in on Tuesday and Wednesday, disconnecting the silo and disconnecting the workshop. Now the silo will be collected at some point towards the end of this week, once we're paid from the funders. Stella Scaffold will be in on Thursday and Friday this week, taking down the workshop. Now, a lot of people actually said it.
Why are you going to all the trouble and having all of this workshop if you're down to, well, only the 914 would fit in the workshop, and the remaining lorries, other than the road sweeper, they're going as well?
So at the moment, we don't technically need a workshop area, and we need to do the concrete in over there while we have the team in, because we don't want them to leave and then come back at a later date. What we need to do is ensure that we don't have any empty pockets of material, because the way Flo was loading on Friday, he was doing it as quick as he could without having to track up and down. So he's basically stationary, boom, boom, boom. So there's some pockets of material which we are now filling, but at the same time, we left 1 or 2 of the pockets, so when lorries do come in with non-haz, they can come up here and tip straight away, so we don't do an Ashville special of double, triple, and quadruple handling. So operationally, in the yard, all is going well, and hopefully, once we get rid of the non-haz, which is down here, there won't be any more of this double and triple handling. It looks like, I was not a believer in the beginning, but it looks like the flat plates which have been put on the existing tracks of the L860, they are working well, and there is no damage to the concrete and there is no damage to the tracks. Of course, over time, damage could develop, but at the moment it looks like it's working. Now, let's head to site and see how the lads are getting on at the refurbishment project. We continue the fireplace feature wall on the ground floor. In the past few weeks, you saw us construct the frame for the floating wall, and now we're cladding in 12.5mm plasterboard using 25mm screws fixed into the metal studs. We're only cladding in one skin, but as you can see, we fitted ply within the structure to create a firm fixing for the TV bracket. Next, we'll fit cement board on the bottom facing the fireplace, angle beads on the corners, and possibly plaster, but more than likely apply a base coat to prepare for a polished plaster finish like you saw at the Stickermans and the Central London Penthouse projects. You saw last week, I was talking about a couple of machines, and I have decided that we are going to go with a new machine manufacturer which we have not used in the past. Can anybody guess who that manufacturer is? The 914 is going to be going, and only now, after having a look around it with my townie, the 914's only got about 2,000 hours on it, and I checked online what they're worth. By God, those Lee Bears do hold their value well. So there's quite a bit in the kitty with a 914, so I'll either trade it in or I'll sell it and then use the money from it to start getting some of the new kit. Probably gonna go for 20-ton excavator, a all-terrain, probably Manitou, 5-ton forklift telehandler, whatever you call it, because them things are indestructible. And I don't want no headaches. Not that it's possible not to have headaches when you've got machines around you. Anyway, going up to my office, getting out of the way, because the train is just pulling in. Tuesday morning and we're in the yard. We're halfway through another slab next to the wheel wash. Progress update. We have removed 50% of the slab for the previous wheel wash and we've already started building it up. But of course, we have a mechanical problem because there is always a mechanical problem, and the 914 is down at the moment. This is just hard work, all this, isn't it? Basically, the 914 is not slewing. So it feels like the slew brake is on. That basically means that it's not turning left and right. Now, we had this problem a long time ago with the 926, and it was one of the solenoids. So we believe, but we don't know, but we're waiting for somebody to come in and give us a plug-in. Need to get it working, fix the front grille, because as I said, this is going to be advertised for sale, and we want to make sure it's working 100%. And I'm also going to invest in our own diagnostic computer. Moving forward, we can look after the new kit, which I do get. I actually did it yesterday, and we let the machine cool down, and after a little while it started working again, but then when it heats up, it stops. Other than that, the machine's in good nick. A solenoid is just a standard wear and tear maintenance issue. And we actually have rubber pads to fit onto it, which have been sat here for a long time. Because remember, in the old yard, it was tracking round on the concrete. But when we moved into this yard, because the majority of the yard was not concreted, we didn't put them on. We've probably 50% of the yard now concreted. Once we've moved all that non-haz, that 914 will probably be working on the concrete. So we'll put those pads on, and it will make it look nice and lovely for sale also. The generator, a couple of weeks back when I was sat in the rally car on the manual stand up at the NEC, I told you about the diode that we needed to order. Well, that should be in the next few days, and then we're gonna have to fit it, fire up, and see if we can get it working again. Truth be told, I'm not gonna be using it in here. So I'm like the 914, I'm only gonna get it working again so I can sell it. Now, next is the cube crushing equipment. We just had, got my little torch here, we just had someone come in to have a look at all of the equipment, and they are buying all of it. Here are incubation tanks. And they told me an interesting fact. Got 100 mil cubes and 150 mil cube molds. I bought these a long time ago. As you can see, they've had much less usage than the 100 mil. And we were using these to test concrete, which we were pouring onto the underground at Aldgate. Very long time ago, before we even started the videos. Since then, they've sat there doing nothing. And the normal sites we've been to, they all turned around and
Said you can't have 150 mil because it's against health and safety and manual lifting, and it's going to be too heavy.
The gentleman said
that the 150 mil are specifically for the London Underground and the airports,
who will not accept 100 mil molds. And above me, you can, I'm not sure if you can hear all the rattling, but Buddy is in, and he is now disconnecting all of the electrics on the scaffold and within the containers so we can begin to dismantle in a couple of days. Had a visit, and I was wrong. It was not a solenoid. It was in fact 2 solenoids on the 914, which have now been changed. And as you can see, the 914 is working well again. We have a train coming in the next 45 minutes. The finance company who are funding the silo popped in, and I didn't even know this, but the silo has a plate on it with a serial number. I didn't even know. It was made bespoke for us. It's a horizontal one. So they've asked me to change the invoice to add the serial number, send it to them, and apparently we are going to be paid on Thursday for it. And the company who have purchased it, they said over the next 2 Saturdays, they're going to try to get it out of here. They'll probably spend 1 Saturday dismantling it because the auger has to be taken down, because obviously you can't transport it like that, even though we did from the other yard. Click here to watch the video when we got ourselves in a bit of trouble with some telephone lines trying to move the silo from the old yard. And Bartusz has disconnected all of the electrics, so we are ready for the scaffold city to be taken down. And the train is now pulling into the yard. We had a little issue picking up the weights of the empty wagons when the train came in, which made us worry that somehow we damaged our track weighing system when working in that area concreting by either pinching a cable or changing the levels of the track through vibrations. We contacted the manufacturer, Weybridge Services, who logged in remotely and did a reset. Thankfully, this rectified the problem, so we used the wagon's plated empty weights to overcome the weighing in issue and were able to register the data weighing out. Quick maths calculated how much material was in each wagon, enabling us to complete the required paperwork and submissions and allow the train to leave the yard safely. And that's it for Tuesday. In business, opportunities and challenges can pop up at any time. Now, I'm not a financial analyst or advisor, but I do know the importance of having financial resource at critical moments to overcome hurdles and take advantage of opportunities. If you're a small business, it can be challenging working with high street banks due to long timelines and no flexibility. Computer says no. It's something that SME owners often hear, but to understand the business fully, sometimes you need a human touch. So I've teamed up with iWalker, who specialize in providing small businesses with quick access to working capital. To date, they have funded 100,000 businesses with loans from £1,000 to £1 million, with flexible payment terms from anything as short as 1 day all the way up to 5 years. They consider a wide range of businesses, and every customer gets a dedicated account manager. So, if you have a cash flow pinch from an unexpected late client payment, or you have a new job starting where you need more staff and require new tools, iWalker can offer flexible funding where you're in control. Choose your term length and pay back early if you can and save money, and only borrow what you need when you need it. Now, I'm not telling you to go and borrow money. I'm providing a flexible option which could help bridge a temporary financial gap or facilitate growth. It only takes 5 minutes and you could get a no obligation quote in as little as 24 hours. As with all funding and agreements, please read all of the documentation fully before making any decisions and try to ensure it is the correct path for your life and business. So, if you're a UK-based small business requiring fast and flexible funding from £1,000 to £1 million, see how iWalker can help you by visiting iWalker.co.uk/Daniel. It's Thursday. and I'm in the yard. I told you yesterday about the company coming to have a look at our concrete crushing equipment. They have made an offer, but before they pay, they want to see us fire it up. It weighs about 400 kilo, so we've struggled to bring it to the front of the container, and now we're going to use a telehandler, which we have on hire, moving around all of the rebar to see if we can reach it, bring it out, plug it in somewhere to see if it fires up. I need to send them
video on your phone.
Yeah, because they want to.
Oh yeah, look, she's all impact hooked in.
All is fired up and working well. There you go. It's also bolted to the pallet. Yeah. Switched it off, fired it up again, just so you can see. There we go. Back at the refurbishment project. We are insulating and closing off the area below the window of the master bedroom. We're doing this by fitting 25mm insulation between the timber battens. We have already insulated internally, completely eradicating cold spots using a thermal camera to verify, but when the house was constructed originally, internal grade RSJ steels were used in areas where they are exposed to the natural elements. We need to protect these steels to stop them rusting and acting as a cold bridge to the property. The insulation is fixed in place with 50mm timber screws and a washer to ensure we do not screw through it. 12mm cement board is used to clad, fixed into the battens and not the insulation, with each board overlapping the battens by 50%. On top of the cement board eventually will be vertical black timber with a rendered white finish between. The build-ups we have created have been done to follow the existing design and at the same time reduce any possible cracking of the white render by ensuring the control joints are behind the timber and each section of render is its own board. Yesterday, it keeps happening, was a record-breaking day. We had 1,200 ton of non-haz material come in. Basically, everything that came in yesterday went out on the train. Now we have another train today, and we have 4 trains booked for next week. I'm happy to say the yard is busy, and we have 40 loads of 6F5 going out today also. So we're flying. You noticed yesterday one of the slabs we poured is at an angle, and we're pouring one today what's butting up against it also at an angle. We've done that because we are creating a valley for the rainwater, which will channel all of the water to the drainage which is going to be in this area. As I'm not going to be filming weekly anymore, I'll just give you a little breakdown of what is actually going to be happening. The yard actually covers all of this area and all of this grass verge. So we're going to take the A and move it over into the yard. We're going to be digging up all of this, and all of this area will be concreted. We're going to move the fence. We're going to remove the turnstiles. And this entire area will all be part of the drainage system. The wheel wash is going to be dropped down in this area, but we're going to pick the weighbridge up, move the weighbridge over, and then concrete the area which is missing. At the moment, we're just getting rid of more scrap steel because we're going to be concreting. Once the lads have been in on Friday and dismantled the scaffold, we'll be concreting under there more and more and more concrete. We're working on the planning proposal at the moment for some of the kit that we would like to put in here. I can't tell you what it is, but I can tell you we're not going for a workshop at the moment. We're going to be going for another substantial bit of kit. And while we're doing all of that, we're going to be working on the drainage system, which will be here. Hopefully all of the 6F5 will be sold soon. The bags will also be sold. Silo will be going over the next 2 Saturdays. The bagging plant is advertised. Once all of the work in this area is done, we're going to shift the offices over to the other side and we're going to concrete everything here. Build-wise, we're finished the central London penthouse. We are going to continue at the refurbishment project. That will probably be complete end of December, so the client can move in for the new year or for Christmas. We have another job which we're looking at, which I saw the other day, which we will more than likely be doing, as well as some of the other jobs which we're pricing at the moment. And I have to do a lot of traveling because they have some international bits and pieces I'm looking at. And there are a couple of things I said in the past few weeks which I have done a complete U-turn on. And what I said I'm going to do, I'm not actually going to do it. But what I will say is there will be a lot of construction happening, both in the UK and internationally. Hopefully when I'm not filming, I'll actually have more time and hopefully I'll be able to speed up my productivity and actually get things done a lot faster. All right, see how the steel removal's going? The cupboards are looking bare. The stillages themselves can also actually go. We just need to do a bit of work in this area because if you look at the size, the depth of the slab here, and then this area here, we're going to have to do something. Probably cut off the bottom of the gate and put a slope in place like you can see we've done for the workshop to ensure that Network Rail can get in and out of this gate, because legally we are never ever allowed to block this gate because that's how Network Rail get onto the main line. A couple more bits to do and possibly another trip. Oh yeah, the tires which are over here, someone's buying all of those. They're actually getting collected tomorrow as well by one of my neighbors from the very first Cricklewood yard. And the yard is getting cleared, concrete in, and operationally is working extremely well. It's Thursday and I'm in the yard. I just got off a call with the pool specialist about the job we looked at a couple of weeks back where you saw myself, Dudek and David. It's a 1,600 square foot basement and a swimming pool which is 8x4, but the client would like a raise-in deck. The pool specialist explained to me that the raise-in deck will cost probably the same amount of money as the swimming pool, and the correct way to do it is a scissor lift beneath which raises and drops the levels at the push of a button. So I'm going to report back to the client and let them know the rough costing to see how they want to proceed, because irrespective they're having a pool no matter what, but it's just the cost of this scissor lift. So we'll see. There's a what? We'll see what they say. On another note, we need to get the MIG welder looked at. It needs a bit of a service. It's having a couple of problems. We are going to need to load the MIG welder onto a van and drop it to the lads so they can look at it in their workshop tomorrow.
We were discussing about the way the train was going to operate. And he said something, and everyone agreed with me on
Everyone agreed with Simon.
on YouTube, yeah, so they said it was done right.
A couple of weeks back in Weekly, Simon and I had a discussion about how the train was going to come in. Simon says that everybody agreed with him. But in actual fact, we were both wrong.
No, no, stop again. I went and measured the track. So I had a plan with the shunter and we got it sorted.
Yeah, you had a plan with the shunter, but what we said, both of us were wrong.
Did I not walk past you when you were standing there talking to someone? I said, we got a different plan for the train.
We got a different plan, but it wasn't my plan or your plan. It was a completely... How was it your plan? It was a completely... Was it the plan you said? Are we going to... Simon, I will rewind.
No.
I will rewind.
It wasn't the plan we said, but then I came up with a different plan.
Okay, but it wasn't the plan you said.
No, but was it your plan?
What?
Was it your plan?
I left it in your capable hands, but neither of us were wrong because it could have worked either way, but mine was more efficient.
These people are right. These people are the right.
Simon's looking at the comments. So show us, Si, look. But in the end, Simon had a conversation with the shunter and it was a completely different plan altogether. But the fact of the matter is the train got loaded, did it not? Yes, the train got loaded and I was right. Simon was incorrect and he worked it out with the shunter. That's half of another section of a valley complete. And we lifted the A earlier. Our A is going to sit here for the time being while we work in this area and begin to pull out all of this. Heading up to my office now for a meeting to discuss a new flow of trains which should start in a couple of months. It's Friday and I'm in the yard. It's busy, 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 busy. So we have the lads from the build firm emptying out the 2 top containers. Stuff that we've been moving around for the past few years. We were going to reuse on sites, but it never happened. Anything which the lads aren't going to reuse is going in the skip. If they can use it, it's going to the Refurbishment Project. I'm finished with all of this storing. Plus the 2 containers at the top, we've actually sold them. They're going to be collected on Tuesday. The lads from Stella Scaffold are dismantling the scaffold as we speak. So we're on one side. They're going to move over to the other side and then we're going to switch and we're going to empty the other one. At the same time, the green container, what you saw come from site with all the nuts and bolts, once again, we're just storing, we're going to use it in the future, we're going to use it, forget all that. We've made some little boxes with nuts and bolts that we actually use and all the rest is going in the scrap bin. Now you may ask, why am I putting some of the scaffold in the scrap bin? Because Joe at Stella, it's used scaffold, which he doesn't buy. Some of our 6-meter lengths, he's going to take them. I asked people who wants this other scaffold. Everyone said
It's used, I'll be there next week, I'll be there the week after.
I ain't got time for all that. Later is code for never. The other scaffold is going to go straight in the bin, which we'll probably exchange after lunch. So scaffold and bolts in one, anything we're keeping goes on to Joe. At the same time, we're at the front gate. We've sectioned it off with some fencing. We've moved the turnstile and we're going to begin to pull out everything there to prepare to pour concrete. Also, plenty going on. What's weird is there's a lot coming down, which you may think,
oh, that's really negative, sad music.
but it's coming down because of what's going to be put in its place. So I'm really excited. It doesn't really work like that. You're normally really excited when something's building. I'm really excited because it's coming down. Anyway, plenty of work to do. Look what the lads found. This is the very first sign from the Cricklewood yard. And get this is from the shop at number 541 on the King's Road when we were showing kitchens and bathrooms and home automation. It's criminal to get rid of these bolts, but I asked and nobody wants them and we're not going to use them. Even Dudek says they're no good. Are they no good, Dudek?
They're not good for us.
No?
Too big size, mate.
Stella scaffold, gone for a bit of lunch. Everything is going really well. Time now is 11:30. Having a look at the front, I can see the lads are about to pour another slab. Remember when we put this in? We were gonna widen the opening for the gate. Now it can't come out. Just goes to show the fantastic C40 concrete that we put in there. See? Still can't get it out. Cleared out the top level here. See there's tarmac in the ground. Drop the levels. Do you remember when we first opened this gate and I did like a bit of a moonwalk? So you can see the level of the road and how much lower we are. And all of this will hopefully be pulled out tomorrow if we don't encounter any problems. I was going to say something, but no. I'll save it for a little bit later. How's it all going?
All right, mate, yeah, we're getting there. Yeah, the plan is, like I say, to get this done today. I want to be out of here gone. What's the reason it's got to come out then?
This entire area now needs to be concreted.
Yeah.
This slab has got to continue because the drainage is going to start over the other side.
Right.
And really and truly, without the lorries and all the machines, and all the machines that are gone, we're not doing plant hire anymore.
Yeah.
So what am I going to do with the workshop?
No, 100%.
This is the last Ashville Weekly, so I'm handing the reins over to you.
No pressure.
Stella Scaffold channel.
No pressure.
What episode you want?
60. What are the plans then for you now? That's the bigger question.
This way you put something over the screen and like kind of cover it. And
yeah, just go to the forest and put like reptiles,
a couple tumbleweeds.
Cockroaches. Yeah. Any more podcasts lined up?
I don't know. It's a good question.
Your podcasts are good.
Yeah. I'll consider podcasts. If somebody would like me to do a podcast, I will consider it. Sometimes I say yes, and then my management say no, you're not doing that. So it's not always me that says no.
You keep advising me in the background when I ring you for advice regularly.
Yeah, he rings me for advice and then I call him. Don't do this, don't do that. But sometimes he don't be listening. He don't be listening sometimes.
Yeah, you've helped me a lot, massively. So I'm forever grateful. You're a good man. Top man.
It's been a busy day in the yard. Despite their best efforts, Stella were not able to completely take it down. It was very ambitious, but the lads did really well and they worked really hard in the hot sun. This 40-yard bin, we're going to try and get it collected tomorrow. It doesn't look like it's full, but with all the nuts and bolts that came out of this, here and here, and any bits that the build firm took from the top, we believe that this is going to be extremely heavy. Maybe a little bit of pocket change. Another productive week. We have more to do tomorrow. I'm just gathering my thoughts and taking a slow walk in the yard and absolutely sweating as it's 32 degrees. It's strange. You feel like this is it, man. Like this is the last weekly. But business is gonna continue as usual, except when I'm doing bits like I'm doing now, I can apply that time elsewhere, which should help us move forward at a, hopefully, faster, more intensive pace. that's it for the last Friday of an Ashville Weekly, which is going to be documented, and an extremely productive week. It's Saturday and I'm in the yard. It was raining earlier, but it didn't stop us. We continued to concrete and prepare the area at the front for more concrete next week. I took some time to think about how doing a weekly show for the period of time we have, how it's actually affected me and what I've taken from it positively and what I've learned from it. And going back, I remember my journey at the very start. I'm going to be honest with you here, because we got to try not to outsmart the truth. We need to let it have its moment. Comments were really a difficult thing for me at the very start. I used to hang on every comment, and if someone said one bad thing, I would take it to heart, and then I would overcompensate and try to make up for it. Like, you can make up for somebody saying something negative, like you can actually do that week after week in the beginning. And then I did a complete U-turn, because I realized that sometimes people can just be mean for absolutely no reason. And more importantly, everybody's entitled to an opinion. So I completely stopped paying attention to the comments, and I kind of blocked them out because I didn't want it to enter my space and destroy my energy. And then with experience and time, I am where I am now. If you let people's opinions affect you, you will always be their prisoner. And people's opinions of you do not define who you are. So now I just appreciate the engagement, the fact that people take the time to do it. I do read some of the comments when I have time, and I'm happy to say I've reached a happy medium, but honestly, looking at it, I think that's more about yourself as a person rather than the person who's actually writing it. You have to develop yourself and your mind in a way that others can't just make comments and step in and destroy your peace. And if I expand on that, there have been times when I have allowed the weekly videos to get in the way of important work that needs to be done within my businesses. And I forgot at points that I am a businessman first and content creator second. I'm only meant to be documenting what my business does. And in those times, when I prioritized what was going on in videos and my eye wasn't 100% on the ball, what I've been through in the last 18 months, could I have spotted some of those problems a little earlier? Possibly. If I was micromanaging and fully boots on the ground, not halfway in, halfway out, not 50-50, would it have been different? Now, I'll never know. The media and the videos, it became a job. And in my head, it became part of the business. So it needed the same attention that the main business did. Now that isn't true. Like, the maths isn't mathing when you start doing things like that. Yes, you can create a video and people can watch it and share the journey, but really and truly of, I don't know, the 200,000 people who will watch a weekly episode, can I actually tell you the business that has been generated from it? No, it's immeasurable. Do more people know who Ashville is? Yes. Has it made a difference? Yes. Has there been an increase in work? Yes. Has it benefited me personally? I have my own TV show on Nat Geo. Yes, it has. Those are the pluses. But can I tell you that the amount of work that I've put into media and videos over the last 5 years has been justified in the growth of the businesses? And the answer is no. The answer is no. And the answer could never be yes, because it's immeasurable. The only way the answer could be yes is if content took over business. Now, I know a lot of you will say that
The videos generate revenue.
but I do not edit the videos myself, and I have high expectations and goals of production. And I believe every video, even if it's a weekly, is extremely important, and I believe we should put everything into it. As I said previously, it becomes part of the job, and I believe you have to do your best in everything you do. So moving forward, I'm going to take that with me, and the content we do will have no option but to work around business, because business will be the priority. But then again, you can spin it back again and say that because of the videos and because of the work we've done in the construction and rail sector, it's opened new doors, and people who wouldn't have known who we are now know. Look where we are, in a new yard, and look at the friends we've made along the way. And there have been projects that we would not have got had it not been for the videos. The work we did with KSI, the Refurbishment Project. But then we go back again and we ask the question, does the value of profit in those jobs justify the time spent making videos and media and promoting it? Or would we have done other work anyway and made the same margins, but less people know who we are? Which would have meant, with some of the issues we've had with councils and government authorities and competition and people stealing our work, maybe that wouldn't have happened, because our heads would have not popped above the parapet. With all that said, I am at peace with it. And the most important thing out of all of this in the last 2 years, the last 5 years, is the experience and what you can take from it and what you do moving forward, because tomorrow is the start of a new day. And with the new time which I have, it's not for me to chill and relax, it's to put the foot to the throttle even more and focus on the new business ventures locally, nationally, and internationally. But come, we're flipping it again now, because when it's time for the next step, I will want to share it with everyone, because it will help generate traffic to websites, it will help generate interest, and that could translate into increased business for the new ventures and product lines. So it's a double-edged sword. And as I said a couple of weeks back, I feel a little bit like I'm flogging a dead horse, and I would never want to be in a position where I have to make up titles to make people click on it, or start to invent foolish things. So, oh, please watch it at the weekend. I just don't want to be that person. And I think that can take away from all the work which has been done previously. And I'm happy, because I think that starting the journey we did, I feel that it gave a lot of other people within the sector inspiration to start and share their own journeys. All of us are at different parts of our journeys, and I wish every single one of them luck. I hope it goes well for them, and I hope they get from it the goodness that I have got from it without the negative. So, I feel that this particular part of our media needs to leave football before the football leaves it, as Jamie Carragher would say. I would like to thank everybody who has been attached to making the Ashville Weeklies over the years. Massive shout out to Ara the coach, who was there from day one. Shout out to Tim, Frighty, Meds, Sarush, Richard, Luke, Eddie, Hamza, Connor, Adam, Glenn, Jav, Jay, Will, Accent, and I'm really sorry if there's anyone I haven't remembered. I just freestyled that. That just came to the top of my head. That was real quick. And I would like to thank all of you who's watched, commented, interacted, engaged, forwarded it to someone. And hopefully on the journey, you've managed to learn from some of our, and more importantly, my mistakes, and you've been able to apply it to your own lives and businesses. And I hope that it's given you a lot of value, and you can see that you don't need to be the smartest person in the world. You don't need to be the richest. You don't really need to have anything, as long as you're willing to work hard and give it a go. Hard work will pay off, and your dreams and goals can come true. Now, that's not to say that when you get there, you think to yourself, this was my dream, but now I've got here and I don't know how I feel about this. I'm not too sure about it. That's not to say that when you get there, you won't feel like that. But you need to get there to have the experience of the journey. And hopefully, seeing our journey, you've seen that everything is possible. I'm not an educated man. I didn't learn anything at school. I'm dyslexic, and I've had to learn everything on the ground, on the job. And it's not perfect, and I've made a lot of mistakes, but we and I, as you can see in the journey from the old yard to the new yard, have made progress. Thank you for watching. Once again, I'm Daniel, this is Ashville, and this was Ashville Weekly episode 250, the very last one.